I'll be demonstrating for you the Rock Cycle Lab, whose purpose is to simulate the steps taken by the rock cycle, since it's something we can't observe directly. You can see that I have some safety precautions. I have put my hair up since we'll be working with an open flame, and I'm wearing goggles to protect my eyes. The materials that I have are a sugar cube. I have a piece of foil. I've got a set of forceps and a hand lens and a candle. The first thing that I'm going to do is examine the sugar cube with my hand lens. I'm magnifying the sugar cube to see that it is composed of many different grains of sugar cemented together, much like a sedimentary rock is composed of many grains of sediment cemented together. Next, I will crush the sugar cube into a powder. I'm using a hard piece of slate for this. Being very careful not to hurt myself because it is difficult to crush this since it has been cemented together. You can see now I've got some very small grains as well as some bigger chunks that I will crush up here. You're asked on your assignment paper, what part of the rock cycle does this represent? You should think about what part of the rock cycle involves the breaking down of rock. Now I'm going to make a little boat with my foil piece. I'm just going to fold it up a little bit so that I have some sides that will allow the sugar not to fall out. And then I'm going to move my sugar sediment into the foil boat. Again, you should be thinking about the rock cycle here and what is the name of the process that involves the moving of sediment into another location. You'll now see that I have a flame burning. This is to simulate the heat that occurs inside the earth. I'm going to use my forceps as a clamp to hold over the flame and allow it to melt the sugar that I have. You can see there's some smoking because my sugar is melting. And as it melts, it begins to turn a little bit brown. And I can see it liquefying. Again, safety is very important. You want to make sure that if you start to feel it all hot on your hand, you set it down. You're dealing with fire. Keep loose clothing and hair out of the way. Here we see some bubbling. And as the sugar melts, we need to think about which part of the rock cycle is involved here. What is created when rock materials melt. The sugar is now liquefied. You can see it. It's all brown and it can flow. I'm going to set it down and let it cool. My sugar rock has hardened now. It's cooled and hardened and now represents an igneous rock, one that came from melting. I am now instructed to break it up, and I can do so just by using the paper to kind of crack it. I see it's now in much smaller pieces. There. It smells delicious. But here are some smaller pieces. And you're then asked what stage of the rock cycle does this represent, and once again this would be weathering or breaking down of rock into sediment. Here's your demonstration of the Rock Cycle Lab. I'm sorry that you missed it, but I hope that you were able to understand the concepts we covered by watching this video.